Hi, everybody. I'm Jay. Just a little bit about me. I do not have slides tonight, and there's actually a purpose for that. I wasn't being lazy, but I wanted to try something new. I usually have crazy slides. I like to make people laugh. But within the context of my talk tonight, I wanted to not use slides. Bit about me, 20 years experience, like Alex said, but I've been everywhere. I've actually done M&A work, worked as a CCO at a fintech startup, but most of my time has been spent in advertising. The vast majority of that actually was spent in pure play digital, and that was the beginning of my career. And I kind of morphed over into what people would classically call traditional advertising. And so with that in mind, everything I'm about to say right now is probably going to irritate and maybe scare a couple people in the room. It's not designed to do so just to be a contrarian, but it's actually designed to get you to think a little bit more about the things we take for granted on a day-to-day basis, and I think the industry is taking for granted on a day-to-day basis. What's interesting is that hearing Michelle speak, we have very similar views on things. So I wanted to take a step back and say, my first point that I want to make to everybody is true creativity cannot be found in data, right? And a lot of people are going to shrug and either say, yeah, so what? Or they're going to say, that's not true. And I know that because I've had these conversations a million times with either clients or coworkers. To unpack that, I want to kind of do some definitions. Let's talk about DataSec and say we'll make data information on individual behavior that's kind of translated either into symbols or to numbers, right? That's data. Creativity is the linking of ideas that are basically asymmetrical or that do not connect in any logical order. They give rise to new ideas that are unprovable or untestable. There is no basis for comparison. And so when you look at data, the formation of data, the calculation of data, it relies on algorithms. Those algorithms rely on rules. Those rules are set by human beings typically to solve this particular problem, but they're finite, right? They're a set of rules, and even if you wrote an algorithm that said, write a new algorithm, it still requires a certain level of rules to guide that rule behavior. On the flip side, creative, again, has no rules. In fact, it's anti-rules. The best creative comes from breaking rules, right? And why that's important to understand, I think, is one, the two are at odds with each other, right? Data cannot provide true creativity. It can provide learning, it can advance our understanding, and it certainly can provide inputs into creativity, but it cannot formulate true creativity. So why does creativity matter, and particularly in the context of marketing and business? Well, there's a study out of Cologne University that basically measures the ROI of creativity on marketing and advertising. And what they found was that true creativity actually had a compounding effect on return. So that effectively you can run anything, and yes, you'll get a return given enough media weight behind it. But if that creativity contained artistry, new ideas, and depth of an idea, that there's a 3 to 4 or 5 times multiple on the return on that creative idea. So there's true power in real creativity. And I think what's happened as of late, particularly in the marketing departments of brands, ad agencies, is that we've clung to this rule-based, provable, data-driven marketing because it's easy to sell, right? It's easy to go to your boss and say, we're doing X because of Y. Here's the proof. And certainly you'll make money, but you're not making all the money you could potentially make. You're actually leaving money on the table. In a Harvard Business Review article, there was an amazing kind of dissection of this and saying that we have obsessed over capturing market. What we've ignored is creating market. And so I guess in the 28 seconds that I have left, what I would suggest is that in order to create markets, we need to leverage creativity. We need to break rules, we need to break boundaries. But to do so takes a leap of faith and it takes a leap of humanity. We have a tool, as Michelle said, which is our humanity. which is that we're incredibly messy, incredibly unpredictable, we're slow, we're dumb. But a neuroscientist, Henning Barrick, actually said that that's the exact reason why we're smarter than computers. And so I would challenge everybody to push themselves to break the rules of marketing for the sake of the future of marketing and for the sake of our companies. Thank you.